You're watching Pulse for the 21st or 22nd of November, and it's time for some Diablo news. In this week's episode, spoilers. Lots and lots and lots of spoilers. If you don't like spoilers and you don't want to hear spoilers, you should probably not watch this video. I won't even bother trying to annotate you around them because that would just be a foolish notion. That said, you can watch the very start of this video to hear about Beta Patch 6 and everything that came with it, but after that, spoilers. Then along with this, we're going to be looking at the new followers page on the official site and much more. Let's get to it. As I mentioned, we're going to be starting this week's news off with the Diablo 3 Beta Patch 6 notes. Now at first glance these do seem pretty short, but a lot of new goodies have been added for us to fiddle with. So right now we'll just have a quick look at the patch notes and cover everything that they've added. First up, stackable items can now be purchased and sold in the gold auction house. These items can be purchased in any quantity, provided that the quantity is available for sale, and will pull from multiple auctions listed if needed. So that's pretty cool and a very efficient way of doing things. Then in the BattleNet changes, player profiles have been added. These profiles will display important statistics for each of your characters, as well as 3D models featuring their current gear. Honestly, I really like this, and they are looking quite flashy right now indeed. Player profiles will also only be viewable while in the main, character select and party screens. They will not be viewable in-game. You access these new player profiles by clicking on your hero or pressing P. To view other players' profiles while in the party, you just right-click on their character. Player profiles for real ID friends can also be accessed by right-clicking on their names in the friends list. Now one of the bigger additions, achievements are now available for testing. They say everyone playing should just note that for the beta launch of this system, only a limited number of achievements have been included. You can obviously see that on your screens right now. There are a couple of really cool ones, but as you can see they have been tailored for the beta. To view your own character's achievements, you can click on the achievements icon located in the lower right section of your screen, or just press Y at any point while playing. To view another character's achievements while in a party, right click on their character and select Inspect. Pretty simple, and there are quite a few to pick up while playing the beta, so it's well worth checking out for those of you that have access. Now next up in the patch notes, we've got a bunch of monk changes. I'm not going to go over every single one of these, this is just general balancing. There was also one wizard change to have a look at. Then in the general monster changes, monster affixes Die Together, Powerful and Ghostly have all been removed from the game. You can find a link below this video containing a few blue posts discussing the removal of those affixes if you're interested. While the Blizzard guys and the Diablo team are constantly improving everything about the beta, and these patch notes were quite substantial, it's still not the biggest news of the week. You can, as always, find those patch notes linked below this video, and those spoilers I mentioned before, well, they're coming up right now, so you might want to close the video if you're sensitive to such things. So a lot of new information and content was data mined from the game files after this latest patch. We're going to start with one of the biggest discoveries, the loading screens for Act 2, 3 and 4. We have obviously seen the first Act's loading screen. You can see them on your screens right now, and I think everyone's pretty much decided that the Act 2 loading screen looks like Caldium City. A lot of people are saying that Act 3 should be Bastion Keep and Act 4 should be something to do with Heaven. None of this is set in stone just yet, that goes without saying, but I sure hope that these acts look as cool as their loading screens do. You can check those out below in full size. Next up we have 18 encounter portraits that have been uncovered. As cool as these images are, as you can see, not all 18 of these will be bosses in the game. Some would be used for the encounters themselves, so sometimes you'd help one of the characters out that are in these images, and, you know, considering this is Diablo, most of the time you'll just kill them. There are a couple of unlikely suspects in these images. The guys from over at the Diablo 3 database have labeled a few of them for us, so if you want you can check this image out below, which will give you a slightly better idea of who we're looking at here. I was actually most intrigued by the fact that Hakan II, the Emperor of Caldium, is in fact in these pictures, and it seems like the Butcher's Cleaver is there, so he might be making a return, and then there's someone that sort of resembles Adria. We're not sure about any of these, as with the loading screens, but it is tons of fun to speculate. So let me know what you guys think about these below, but try to keep it spoiler free. Next up, and tying in with the encounter pictures or portraits, we've got BattleNet profile boss icons. There's a portrait of each end boss with a different color for the eyes depending on the max difficulty you killed said boss on. They do look quite frightening, and again, there's been a lot of speculation about who these bosses actually are. We can see Asmodan there, and I can recognize Diablo as well, but the other two, I have no idea. Let me know what you guys think about that below. Next up, we have waypoint lists. There are lots and lots and lots of tiny little images that will appear on the waypoint buttons. These probably include pretty much all the areas of all the acts in the game. Lots of spoilers here if you can squint hard enough to make out what's in these images. Then we have monster and NPC portraits. We did see a couple of these a couple of months back, but there are a lot more to have a look at now, and they do look absolutely amazing. One of the last images that has been found is one that's been labeled the Diablo III end screen. While this does look incredibly impressive and it is an amazing piece of Diablo, he's looking a lot more meaty here, it doesn't really tell us very much of anything. Now, along with all of this, you can find a couple of different achievements linked below, and you can find a full list of those that are in the beta right now. I gotta say, I really like the fact that Blizzard custom made these achievements just for the beta. I think that's pretty special. You can also find screenshots and video clips of pretty much everything that's been changed in this patch. So sadly, that's all I have for you in the patch news. You can, as always, find those full patch notes below, as I mentioned, and explore the rest of the content too. Those images are quite glorious in full size. So now the next big piece of Diablo news we're going to be talking about. Blizzard has added pages covering the followers to the official Diablo 3 community sites. The pages are quite pretty, as with the rest of the site, and they cover pretty much all the skills, as well as the general information about the Enchantress, Templar, and Scoundrel. So if you do in fact want to read more about those fearsome followers, see a bit of artwork relating to them, see their armor progression, the equipment they're going to be using, their reasons for fighting, and everything else, then you'd best check these pages out. With that done, let's head on over to the Diablo 3 Smalls. First up in the Smalls, have a look at a couple of reviews from the guys over at the Diablo 3 database. This is obviously for the Steel Series Diablo 3 mouse and headset. Then have a look at a mod that removes the rainbow color from Diablo 3. Yes, this again. Spike TV's running its annual polls once again, and you can vote for Diablo 3 there if you feel the need. Have a look at the extra credits guys' thoughts on the Diablo 3 Real Money Auction House. Then I thought I'd include the blue posts here. You can read about the beta key sweepstakes confusion, read how the collector's edition items have been updated slightly, read what Bashiok had to say on checkboxes for PvP games. That is not what you think it is. Definitely worth having a look at. Then lastly, read what Bashiok had to say about the recent Cleave revamp. Sadly, that's all I have for you in the Diablo 3 news this week. I will just mention right now that the reason I don't have Diablo 3 gameplay going up at the moment is because I encountered quite a few slightly game-breaking bugs while playing with my Demon Hunter in patch 6. If you're wondering, some of the attacks were getting my character stuck where it really shouldn't have been, and when my character died, I couldn't resurrect or respawn at least. But anyway, that said, I will try get some gameplay footage up soon. Stay tuned for that. Remember to check the links below this video for everything I mentioned during the video. There is a lot of cool stuff to have a look at. That is, if you're not sensitive to spoilers. Again though, thanks for watching, and most importantly, happy Diablo 3 Beta Patch 6.